Although most people have been waiting for 2022 to come around just for the C8 Z06, a recent exciting teaser was released showing that it won't actually be out till 2023. But today, I'm covering everything involving the teaser, engine specs and performance features for the new Z06, and news on the delays. Let's get into it. Starting out with a teaser clip named 2023 Corvette Z06 Crank It Up, Chevrolet posted the video on July 19th. Based on the comments, number of articles out, and overall talk about this car, people for the most part seem to be seriously hyped up from just the sound of the engine. The video is really just 25 seconds of the front view of what can be assumed to be the upcoming Z06, with the car's exhaust playing as it flies around the Circuit of Americas. From the short but awesome teaser, I got two main takeaways that are actually about the car. One is that it confirms the recent rumors that the Z06 was delayed past 2022 and will officially be a 2023 car.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Second is that the words "crank it up" obviously shows Chevy's focus on the crankshaft, which for the first time in a Corvette will be a flat plane crank. Obviously, everyone's been talking about the new flat plane crank engine in this thing for a while, so it's kind of hard to consider it a rumor anymore, but keep in mind that nothing really confirmed it before now besides maybe that they used a flat plane crank in the C8R's engine. Aside from the title, the only words in the video are that the street will never sound the same, and at the end it says, the all-new 2023 Corvette Z06 to be revealed this fall. So soon enough, after all the wait, we'll finally find out what's been speculation, what's been true, and what this frickin' thing actually looks like.
Watch your profanity.
With the more exotic noise, a lot of people are comparing this sound to the V8 Ferraris like the 458 Italia, which is one of my favorite Ferraris along with the LaFerrari and the 458 Speciale. Admittedly, I'm not too much of a Ferrari guy because if I was going for an exotic Italian car, I'd rather have a screaming Lamborghini with a V12, but to each their own. There have been a few other clips in the past of Chevy's test cars, including a couple startups, rollers, and track testing. The startup and roller clips were interesting because 4 of the 5 disguised cars have center exhaust, and one of them still has the normal C8 exhaust. My guess, and what a few other people thought, would be that the center exhaust ones are Z06 test cars, and the odd one out is maybe an E-Ray or ZR1 prototype. I could be 100% wrong on that, don't quote me on it, and Chevy obviously hasn't said anything about it. For anyone who doesn't know about the specs for the car as far as its engine, aero equipment, wheels, or brakes, here's what's been going around, which originally came from someone within GM who leaked the specs to Motor Trend last fall. For the engine, the strongest and really only rumors are that it'll have a flat plane crank 5.5 liter V8 named the LT6. It'd be based on the C8R's engine, and in the Z06, it's expected to make over 600 horsepower and probably around 480 pound-feet of torque. Because of the new crank and smaller engine size, it's said to have a 9,000 RPM redline, and although it won't be as torquey as the previous Z06, it should really move at the top end. Finally, for the engine, a dual overhead cam setup will replace the pushrod style that Chevy's been using since the Corvette first came out. As far as other mechanical improvements go, there's expected to be bigger and better brakes offered along with a lot of carbon fiber. There's even word of active aero, which will make this thing even more of a track monster. Motor One had stated that GM patent applications highlight everything from active front splitters to variable geometry spoilers and active flaps. Muscle Cars and Trucks also claimed there's going to be a self-adjusting splitter, rear wing, and side flaps. So although there's no way of confirming that there will be any active aero at all, I'm expecting at least an active rear wing and maybe active vents up front. Chevy's definitely trying to get even further into supercar territory, and if they want to do that, they kinda have to step things up in the aero game. To help potentially put all that downforce to good use, the Z06 is also going to have stickier, wider tires. In the past, rumors said it'll have Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 summer tires with the front sized at 275/30 R20 and the rears being 345 at 25 R21s. Because of this huge tire size, which is rarely matched, this car is going to be wide. If these are the real sizes, that means these tires are 30 millimeters wider in the front and 40 wider in the back than a base C8. So similar to the C7 Z06, there's almost definitely going to be an extra thick design.
Damn, boy, he's thick, boy!
Finally is word on why this car was delayed and what it means for the C8's future trims. Probably about a month before this teaser from Chevrolet, articles began coming out that the C8 Z06 would be delayed a year or two, and this was for a couple reasons. First was because the Stingray was selling so well that GM was actually having a tough time keeping up with the demand. The second reason is probably way more obvious, and it's that the Stingray production and Z06 development has overall been more difficult because of everything that was going on for the last year and a half. So with the demand being so high, on top of the fact that production was slower than usual, and they weren't able to work on a Z06 the way they expected, the delay was kind of inevitable. For anyone who saw my video on the canceled Z28, this also kind of ties into problems with that. If Chevy's having a hard time finishing a performance trim of a car that's selling really well, imagine how focused they'd actually be on making a performance version of a car with dying sales.
Right now, you're my family. Well, somebody better be dying.
I'm dying.
At this point, we all know what their priority is, and they're probably going to continue to just keep running with it. Beyond the problems with production on their end, think of all the issues that would have come up with their suppliers, and their suppliers' suppliers. As far as the future C8 lineup goes, I've mentioned in past videos when we were supposed to be able to expect new trims like the E-Ray, ZR1, and Zora. But at this point, just crumple all that into a little tiny ball and toss it in the trash. There's not really any concrete word on when we can expect stuff now, but I'd imagine there's going to be the same amount of time between each trim as expected before, with everything shifted back a little. What do you guys think of a flat plane crank Ferrari sounding Corvette? Do you prefer the sound of Chevy's teaser or the sound of Corvettes or other performance cars we've had before? Personally, I'd say I prefer the sound of even lightly modified LT4s or LS7s with opened up exhausts. They've got that thundery low end sound and they still scream once you start revving them out. Even with that being said, I'm still really excited to see what the new Z06 looks like, and I'm even more excited for when I get to hear one at a meet. For anyone new to the channel, I upload American car content and news like this every week. If you've got questions or requests, leave a comment below or send me a DM on Instagram. As always, thank you all very much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I'll see you all next week. Have a great day.